the Plymouth Community School Board for July 2nd, 2019. If you'll join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Welcome to our meeting. Good to see a full crowd here this evening. Our first item is to set the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections?
Yes, under the consent agenda, we did add the monthly accounts payable claim report. We added a resignation of David Smith. Appointments, we added Stacey Beeman, Robert Sumner, Sydney Hartung. Transfer of Kelsey Heisler and added an adult ed substitute of Joseph Braden. And the employee handbook was on there inadvertently, so we removed that from the agenda.
With those additions and corrections, is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Motion in 2 seconds. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Audience participation, again, welcome. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to agenda items this evening? Yes, sir.
Boy Scouts of America would like to get Scout Talks back into schools.
Oh, is that on our agenda? That's not on our agenda. So you caught me off guard.
Okay.
So what I might recommend is to give it a fair discussion and consideration. Typically, we would want to have that request go through the superintendent's office and kind of get on the agenda information that we can consider so that you get your request full consideration.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't want to waste your trip here this evening, but typically we're looking for, again, comment on the agenda, and sounds like a great topic to discuss. But if you can get with Mr. Hartley, and then would it be okay if we set that for our next agenda to chat about?
For August?
Excuse me?
For
Yes.
Okay.
Is that what we're
Yes.
doing?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Please feel free to reach out and
I'll email.
that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else this evening? We'll have another opportunity at the end of the agenda if you do have questions on items that we discussed here this evening. So we'll move on to section 2, which is the consent agenda. Are there any items within the consent agenda a board member would like to pull out and have considered separately? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on the. There you go. Motion and second. Sorry, Larry, I'll speed it up. So we have a motion and second. I have a pen that just exploded, so I'm going to turn it over to you for.
Very good. Do we have any guests that are a part of the consent agenda that any school would like to introduce?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Kaufman.
Good evening, everybody. Katie, you can go ahead and stand so we can see you. This is Katie Simmons. She is joining Riverside staff. She is going to be partnered with Mrs. Tanner from Team J Crew. She already has cheer block here with her this evening. Katie is a graduate of LaVille and IUSB, so she's excited to switch out the blue for some red. I'd like to welcome Katie, everybody.
Floor is yours if you want to.
Oh.
If you want.
I'm excited. It's going to be different. I'm a rocket now, not a Lancer, so that's going to be a little different. But I'm very excited. Teaching math science, which is like my dream, so I'm just ready.
Awesome. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any others? Any other comments or questions on the consent agenda? We have a motion and a second. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to Section 3, which is our business transactions. 3.1 is a project update.
Happy to welcome back Derek from the Skillman Corporation to provide a summary of where we are in the building project.
All right, well, I changed the cover page for this month's meeting, and this will be the one we see from here on out. These are the actual brick colors that will be on the building. So you can see some of it going up now around the building. So there are a few spots we did start the brick. So over the last month or so, we progressed. We started the roof over the 2-story classroom wing. So that's a good sign. So that drives the building in. So a lot of the overhead mechanicals can get going. All the elevated slabs are poured. We're working on getting, there's like 2 or 3 spots in the middle of the building that we still have to pour the slab on. Those should be done here in the next month as well. Mechanical, everything's going well. Plumbing guys are in there roughing in, getting all their work done before the walls go up. Ductwork started around the 2-story classroom wing. The mezzanines, all the air handlers are set up there. We got chillers and boilers, and a lot of the guts of the mechanical room will be showing up early in August. We got a little bit of site prep to do to get the passport form. That way we can start tying in the systems, get the permanent system going towards winter time, so we'll have temporary heating at that time. Masonry wise, they got about another month or so of bearing walls to complete. And then that way we can finish up with all the steel and joists and decks, so we can continue with the roof and get the whole building dried in by mid-August or so. We should have roof on the whole entire building. And then they're getting more guys starting here in the next couple of weeks to start on the exterior of the mirror. There's a few areas that you saw early on go up, because that's just the way they sequenced it, so they can, instead of working off the roof, they were working off the ground around that gym area. So it made it a lot easier for them to get that in. But they're still focused on getting bearing walls up so we can enclose it. Biggest key is getting that mechanical room enclosed and ready by sometime mid to late August. So that way we have enough time to get everything piped and power coming in. NISCO's going to be out in a couple of weeks. They're going to run their feed all the way up to the building. So that way that part's done. So when we're ready to make that switch over, they're out of the way, and they just got to come in and pull some wire and connect it. Overall, we had a good couple of weeks, a little rough start to June, but a good couple of weeks here in the last, end of July or end of June. Making some headway on just getting things done or not getting rained out. So that roof also, so we have some masonry walls to build inside, so now that roof's on, if it does rain, everybody will just go inside instead of going home. So we stay productive and we'll keep progressing. The gym was looking good. We got floors poured in there, temp lights or not temp, there's permanent lights in that are emergency lights, so those are all functional. Ductwork was delivered today for the gym, so they're going to start hanging that next week. So that'll be one last thing to do. And then the electrician's got a couple more days or a couple weeks in there for overhead conduit and piping, and we'll be able to start painting that structure, painting the exposed ceiling. Painter has started, so there are some walls painted in there. Just a block filler coat. And then that shows some of the imperfections that are in there still. The mason comes back in and touches them all up and put 2 finish coats on. So things are going good. Any questions?
Pretty much on schedule?
Yeah. We'll target it in March, somewhere in that range. That'll allow some of the furniture that can be relocated or bought to be moved in, get enough time to train, see the building, work out the kinks.
So it will not be ready for this school year.
August, no. There could be one classroom, maybe. No, it's, we're checking good.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, I didn't go through the pictures, so.
Still plenty of masons?
Yeah, this week was a little down. Guys kind of take weeks or vacations, and so there are about 16 of them out there this week. Next week we're supposed to have back up to 2022.
Are there other projects out there starting up or anticipating?
No, not that I've heard yet. I don't know a lot about what's going on in South Bend, Fort Wayne area, but they're going to work Friday too, so that's usually when the holiday falls on Thursday. They take the 2 days, but Masons will be there Friday, Rooker will be there Friday, so. Yeah, this is before the stage cafeteria, there's a picture for that. Let's go in, the Rookers getting started there on the bottom right. This is the big bathrooms next to the gymnasium. You can see all the mechanical or plumbing lines are left in. So it's another spot where it does rain. They basically can go in there and start working. And that top left picture, that's the boiler room mechanical area. So we got that for a few weeks ago. So yeah. Hopefully just a little storm here and there and we're good for all day stuff.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, keep it up.
Happy holiday.
You too. We'll move on then to 3.2, consider Menominee Elementary School principal proposal.
Well, in summary, we have over 40 applications for our both principal openings for both schools after the screening, initial interview, and then committee interview containing certified and classified staff as well as parent representatives. I am pleased to recommend Mr. Craig Hoppel as principal, as the next principal of Menominee Elementary.
I would so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation for Mr. Craig Hoppel as our next principal for Menominee Elementary. Discussion. Is Mr. Hoppel here?
I feel better now that there's been a motion.
We're getting there slowly.
Well, in summary, Mr. Hoppel, in the 7 years with us as assistant principal at Lincoln Junior High, has shown a passion for kids and building positive relationships in the school community. He comes to us from, prior to coming to Plymouth, he was in Culver as an elementary teacher and then an elementary assistant principal. And so I know he's excited to, if you will, get back to the elementary level and serve the kids and families and teachers and staff of Menominee Elementary School.
I think Mr. Hoppel's background and experience, he'll do an excellent job.
Craig, you have any comments you want to make?
Well, I'm just excited for the opportunity. I'm trying not to cry. A lot of it's just excitement with everything. Know you have faith in me as a board to support me. I think my family's here as well. Don't talk to me because I don't want to cry. Thank you.
Well, it is this is going to be great. You're going to do a great job at Menominee. Passion you wear on your sleeve. Known that about you a long time. So the building's going to see it. The families of that building are going to see it. Everybody's going to see that loud and clear. So congratulations and wish you the best of luck. And I suspect, Reed, you're going to miss him at the junior high.
Absolutely. And, thank you so much, Greg, for 7 years. It was awesome. Okay, you did a great job.
And we were building a new building for you. I don't know.
Yeah. I even give them the corner office.
I'm hoping I can get a tour at some point.
So, again, congratulations, and it is a family affair, and it should be that way. Got to have support at home as well, and that's pretty obvious. So we have a motion and a second, unless anybody else has comments. I will happily ask for the vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Not to be outdone, we're going to move on to item 3.3, consider Webster Elementary School principal appointment.
Well, utilizing very similar process, large application, large pool of applicants, initial interviews, committee interviews with certified and classified staff and parent representatives. It's my pleasure to recommend to you this evening that Mrs. Brooke Bussey be the next principal at Webster Elementary.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have motion and second discussion.
Well, again, I strongly feel that with Brooke's background and her husband being a good golfer, she's definitely going to do a great job for us.
I have no idea how golf factors in.
Through Brooks' work with her entire professional career has been from the schools, and she's been a teacher, instructional coach, and an administrator here, working, providing oversight over our federal programs. She has a vast array of experiences and knowledge that I'm confident will serve the students and the families and teachers and staff at Webster exceedingly well.
Brooke, it's your opportunity. Anything you'd like to say?
Yes, absolutely. I am just beyond excited. My heart lives with the littles, so I'm so excited to get back at the building level. There's an absolute phenomenal staff at Webster, and so I'm so excited to become part of that Webster family. My husband and my 2 kids are also out there, so yeah. That's it. I'm excited.
Well, again, this is a great recommendation. You're going to do an awesome job. Hate to see you leave this side of the desk. Thank you for all your contributions through the central office, and really have enjoyed your counsel on items that come before us. And not only you, but also to Craig, we have an opportunity to work with these folks on a semi-regular basis, but then to have a small interview or opportunity to interview, interview's not even the right word, but have a discussion around your personal goals and goals for the building, how we're going to continue to put kids first, and you guys are just spot on. And I have every confidence that each of the buildings and our community is going to be well served. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Again, I will happily then ask for a vote for the motion and second recommendation for the Webster Elementary School principal. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Can you turn in your name tag, please?
Come on after the meeting.
All right. You can't get paid for both. All right. I don't know how we're going to top that for the rest of the meeting, but we're going to continue on. 3.4, consider PHS, oh, this is really exciting. PHS HVAC project bids.
Yeah. This is exciting, and it is addressing a significant need that we had in at the high school. Not as exciting as I know all the appointments we just made, but we did receive 4 bids for the HVAC project at the high school. The lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the combination of the base bids and all of the alternates is Hable, an independent core company. And total cost of the base bid and all the alternates is $2,065,284, which was within the budgetary estimate for the scope of work. So I'd like to recommend that we award the base bid and all 4 alternates to Hable and Core Company.
Heard the recommendation and the results of the bids. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Questions, discussion?
Staff for informational purposes and a reminder, this comes out of the overall building project that's in existence right now. So that's really fun.
Timing?
Timing, we'll issue contracts and fine tune those pieces. We'll start to see probably a little bit of piping work and things like that, prep work being done. Start to see some major work being done in high school, probably beginning in September. We'll create a schedule, there'll be some movement of classes during that time frame in order to address those needs in the classrooms. The unit ventilators, chiller will be installed probably around November is what we're guessing. and then reconnected. I'm conservatively saying end of March is when we'll conclude. But we'll continue to provide progress.
Sure. Any other questions? Have motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 3.5, consider surplus computer bids.
Invite Mr. Johnson up as he came to the board a couple of months ago seeking permission to advertise for these bids. So he's going to discuss the results and try recommendations.
So unlike the HVAC stuff going with the lowest, I'm trying to sell stuff, so I'm going for the highest number that I can find. And I did outbid, or I got the better number, I guess. So we had 11 bids come in for our excess computers and iPads this year, which is great. Keenan and I opened them on the 17th of June. Like I said, we had 11. We took those 11, kind of narrowed them down to a top 3, if you will, based on responsiveness and the prices per unit and things like that. Of those 11, we had actually 7 come on site, did an inspection of the inventory before they gave us a bid, which is something that didn't happen 4 years ago with all of the bidders. So I felt a little more confident in the numbers that we were getting back. The top 3 total technology results, Diamond Assets were 2 of those 3. Those 2 actually came on site, did an inspection. Some differences in what the bidders did this year is we had some that offered a guaranteed minimum based on our inventory, which we've never had before. They are a graded scale, so there'll still be some grading involved, but they offer a minimum, regardless of the grading scale, will guarantee as much money, which is pretty awesome. Total technology results did not discount us or won't ding us, I guess, if you will, for damaged adapters or missing cables and things like that, which is a bonus, a plus. Whereas Diamond Assets does, they actually take off $7.50 per unit for every cable that we don't have for an iPad, and they'll take off $25 for every MacBook charger. So figuring those kind of things in does impact the bottom line. We had top 3 was a company out of Georgia called Secure Recycling. They did not show up on site. They did offer a guaranteed minimum, which was substantially higher than total technology results. Not knowing them, I kind of did some Google searching, like everybody does when you don't know something. Found a few things that kind of concerned me, so asked Mr. B to get involved and kind of help me go through the process. And it was his determination that we discount Secure Recycling based on them not being a responsible bidder for some other transactions that have happened in the K-12 industry. So our recommendation would be for the board to approve the bid from Total Technology Results with a guaranteed minimum of about $697,000, which is pretty awesome because I think when I was going through the process, I told Andy my gut was probably close to about $500,000. So having a guaranteed minimum of $697,000 was surprising, quite honestly, that our inventory is going to be that valuable. Credit to the buildings, the students, and the staff for honestly taking better care of them this time around than we did 4 years ago. That's a direct result.
So do I interpret a guaranteed minimum to mean it could be higher?
It could be higher, yeah. So the guaranteed minimum that they do, like I said, they came in on site and inspected them. So their guaranteed minimum is that every device that we have is graded as a C grade. We have a lot more A's and B's than we've had D's and F's. So the guaranteed minimum on their side is that every device that we send will be a perfect C, and we got that in that.
So move.
Okay, no, we. So you want the money? Is that what
We need the money.
So we have a motion to accept the recommendation. Is there a second? Motion is second.
Before you vote on that, it's important to be clear about the reasons for the decision. Indiana statute says that you have to select the highest responsible bidder. It's a little different than a sale because apparently they don't have to be responsive, they just have to be responsible according to the statute. If you do not select the highest bidder, you need to give an explicit reason why. And so I just wanted to clarify, Bruce brought it to me because he found some things with red flags, and there were several items. Some of them I would classify as allegations, and some of them could arguably be defensible if you dug into them and gave Secure Recycling an opportunity to respond. But there were 2 items in particular that concerned me. One was that There is one documented incident based on public records of Secure Recycling submitting a bid to a school corporation that included a falsified certification document. It was a requirement of that bid that they have a certain certification. They did not, but they submitted the bid anyhow with a falsified document. The second item that I discovered was a school corporation in South Carolina that has a process for what they call debarring vendors, where if they've had a bad experience with a vendor, they go through a process to officially exclude that vendor from bidding on future contracts. And they did go through that process and debarred Secure Recycling LLC because of a failure to, actually, according to the documentation, the first payment from Secure Recycling was returned for insufficient funds. And then they failed to respond to inquiries about that for a period of months. So those are public records. They were easily found and documented and verified based on those two specific incidents, is why I recommended to Bruce and we're recommending to you that you discount that bid as not responsible.
Appreciate that, Jeff. Is there in the specs, is there a requirement for bidders to disclose those types of bids?
There's not a specific requirement, no. No, it's really up to you to research the responsibility of the bidder and determine whether they are qualified and responsible.
Was there communication or discussion back and forth with, I can't remember the name of the company now.
Secure Recycling LLC.
The only communication, they just wanted to know where they stand with the bid, and at Jeff's recommendation, we purposely not responded to any of them until there's been connection.
Well, I mean, as long as we are solid in our position, and I'm good with that. We don't need insufficient funds. Just sounds, appreciate the research. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion and second, correct? All in favor then of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Good work, Bruce. Thank you. 3.6, consider selection of newspaper for legal advertising.
Each year we select a newspaper to which we'll submit our legal advertising. So as with previous years, I recommend that we continue using the pilot news for this purpose.
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3.7, consider approval of annual financial report for publication in the newspaper. We just decided we're going to publish that.
Attached, you should have found your annual financial report, which is for the 2018 calendar year. It's required by state statute to be published in the newspaper as selection. This report does show we are in a stable financial condition. And the report, as required by law, will be posted, as I said, in the Flight News between August 1st and August 15th. We may have room, quite lengthy, and that way we are in compliance with state requirements. And in addition, I will, once that is proven that we've posted it in the newspaper, then I send the report and that to the Indiana Department of Ed, where it's posted on their website.
Well, I know people look forward to this for their summer reading, so it's good. Is there a motion to approve the report for publication? Second. The motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consider the crossing agreement.
So 1-year continuation of our agreement with the Crossing. Just as a reminder, this is a separate organization that does provide some alternative education and dropout recovery services for students. The overall arrangements are the same as last year, with an additional option, if needed, as it relates to career pathways, funding structure, all that stuff, as we did this past year. So it's my recommendation that we approve this agreement.
For the recommendation, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Why don't you guys are teaming up here? Questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 3.9, consider teacher evaluation plan for 2019-2020.
Approving the teacher evaluation plan is an annual responsibility of the board. The plan this year, really overall is the same as the previous year. We are recognizing some rubrics that we've been utilizing for several years, but just were never identified in the plan. Our work with PEA through the discussion process, we have to recognize that, and we're including those in there. Additionally, there will be slight language adjustments in some of the parameters within the rubrics to ensure that we have what is called parallel structure between the categories. So what we will show is that much of level 3 will be evidence, or evidence is observed in the year, as well as some of the following in that level 4 category. We just have some inconsistencies there that we want to clean up and have consistency. So, again, this has been discussed with the Teachers Association and required by Indiana law. This evening, my recommendation for approval.
So moved. Okay. Motion and a second to approve the teacher evaluation plan for 2019-2020. Any questions?
Laura's back there.
No, I've been away my notes. No real comments of, just like Mr. Hartley said, it did came to our attention that there were some teachers that are not in the traditional classroom setting that actually have a different rubric than what I might have in the classroom. So we talked about the indicators, especially our special ed teachers, who not only had all the indicators that I have, but had additional ones on top of that. Now, typically that's not an issue, but remember, the state now makes a teacher be eligible for raises. And when it comes to our teacher appreciation grant, a difference between highly effective and effective is different, a 25% difference. So that was a little bit of a concern, and I appreciate the administration listening to our concerns and us being able to come up with a solution.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3.1, consider administrative contract renewals.
Yes, before you this evening, the agenda, you see the list of administrators, and it's my recommendation that we roll over their contracts for the years that are identified there.
For the recommendations,
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Excuse me. Just, no, some of those are here. I don't think everybody's here, but thank you for all that you're doing, and it was a good process to go through, and let's get her done. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, item for section 4, superintendent remarks.
We are excited. I can't believe I'm saying this. We are excited. Not that we're excited. We're always excited. But we're excited for the upcoming school year because it is right around the corner. Our next meeting, board meeting. I know you're all here. It's on our mind right now. Yeah, it's on our mind right now. The next board meeting will be on the first teacher day of the school year. We're gearing up and we're getting ready. We've been conducting registration for the upcoming school year online. We've been doing that right spring day. On the 6th is that date.
On the 6th?
Yes. We've been conducting registration online. We're going to offer it still on site at the high school on July 24th in terms of 3 time slots that we have typically, just to ensure that those who don't have access to those online resources at home have that here, and or if they just need a little bit of assistance, we'll be able to provide that. But all that's going very well, and looking forward to that. Additionally, at this point, we're going to be welcoming about 20 new teachers to the district. And this is Andreesh has been working with a group of teachers and administrators to reshape the support that we provide those new teachers in a different structure, in a way that provides different structure as well as some individualization to help ensure that they're going to be successful going in throughout the school year. So thankful for that. Recently, we have provided our first training / professional development on the iPads to our technology committee as well as our administrators, and we will be offering our first voluntary Tech Tuesday next week here in the administration room. Those are have structured topics to them, so we'll continue to communicate that out for folks who maybe want to get a jump start and start to explore some of the possibilities of that advice. And thank you for those who have been working on that. I want to highlight Washington and Jefferson. Both principals are here this evening. They're able to participate in responsive classroom training, and thanks to some grant funds that we received. And this is a school-wide program that helps blend instructional practices to support students' social and emotional development and ensure teachers have the skills and knowledge to support student success. The other two elementary schools are on the docket for this coming next summer, and we'll be able to have all of them on the same page with that. But from what I hear, it was excellent training, and those who participated were pretty excited during and afterwards. I did mention August 6th is our next board meeting. We will have an executive session that night at 6 o'clock. Regular board meeting to follow. That is our first teacher day. We do intend to host our initial, our opening day meeting, breakfast, as we have the past couple of years. An invitation to the board members to welcome us to attend. If you're looking at your calendars, you want to mark down the next date, just a note, our budget workshop, our annual budget workshop, will be August 20th, Tuesday, August 20th at 6 o'clock.
Did you say 6?
You did say 6, is that correct?
I'm just gonna make sure when I advertise.
It is now.
It is now. Set it out in public.
Send it out.
Any questions for Andy? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Other business, coming back to the audits, anybody inspired? Have any questions or comments on agenda items this evening?
Do we happen to know how many units that are being sold? iPads?
That number is based on approximately 3,000 iPads, 3,000 MacBooks, and 600 iPads.
Those are estimates at this point in time, those they can cite.
I'd just like to say thank you to Carla Knotts, who's here in the audience tonight. She is leading Plymouth Community Schools, and she has done a wonderful job for PEA. I'm sure she has done a wonderful job in the classrooms too, but I just want to acknowledge her.
Thank you for all you
Thank you.
I didn't see you back there. We've done that earlier, so they have to be on. Any other comments or questions? Again, thank you for attending. Anything else from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.